talking about the Resident Evil fan remake earlier. You want to talk about
Yes,
this
I
one?
was. I would love to talk about that. Okay, so for any of you guys not in the know, there's basically a completely 100% fan-made HD remake of Resident Evil 2, where they've basically taken, I guess, the core coding and plugged it into a far superior game engine. So it's like Resident Evil 2 that kind of looks like Resident Evil 4 or 5, with everything scaled up, better character models, better textures, and things like that. I think it was originally supposed to be out like last year, but it got delayed, due to time and funding and stuff like that. But it's supposed to be coming out this year. I, for one, would absolutely love to play this. I think that Capcom needs to hire the guy that's doing this and let him like do some more Resident Evil stuff, like come up with a game or at least help them with the upcoming games. I think it looks incredible. And Resident Evil 2, for my money, guys, of the original trilogy is my favorite Resident Evil game. Because it's literally like you're in the shit of the zombie apocalypse. Like you're on the streets as it's happening, as Raccoon City's being taken over. And that's why I liked it much more than the first one. Not that the first one's bad. That one's a cool game. This was just more like the influences of George Romero, I think, were a lot more obvious in this one because it was a little bit closer to Dawn of the Dead, and Night of the Living Dead. And it just struck a chord in me. The two opposing storylines that you can play and stuff, and definitely replay value. And I'm looking forward to checking this one out. What do you think about it?
Resident Evil 2 is definitely one of my favorite Resident Evil games. I still have a place in my heart for Code Veronica. That's the very first Resident Evil game I ever played on the Dreamcast. Great game, but 2 definitely is right behind that for me. I think it's great, and I agree with you. Capcom should definitely hire this guy. I would love to throw some money at this game, as I'm sure a ton of other people were. But
Sure.
given Capcom's history here of late, I would think they'd probably do the exact opposite of what everybody else would think they should do.
Probably, yes.
And I'm fully expecting by about the time that this game is ready for release, Capcom probably to send a cease and desist letter
Yeah,
to
which
where
is
it'll never
bullshit.
see the light of day. But I mean, still, like, if the guy's pretty much done all the work, like, either
Yeah.
thank him and write him a check. I mean, you could write him a check for $100,000. I mean, you're easily going to make that money back if
Yeah.
so if it works and all that, and sell it. I mean, they would still make a ton of money off that. If they had a finished game that they could release. But
No, I agree that HD remake that they did on Xbone and PS4 of the updated version of the originally remade Resident Evil 1 that they put on a GameCube, they redid it in 1080p, was the fastest selling digital download game on a console in history. Like it was number one, like immediately when it came out. So obviously there's a market for this. And I think if they took that same approach to the second one, where they took this guy's game, maybe up the res, scaled it to 1080p, and released it, even if it's only in digital format on the consoles, I think people would love it. I would download that in a heartbeat
yeah, me too.
just to play it again.